Hello and welcome back to another Toronto video. In today's one, we're looking at the TMNT, the Mutant Nation, issue number 5, and this issue was one which I didn't really have too much interest going into this one, just going off a description for it, only just talking about the first story, which is just a pepperoni adventure with her going after some satchel with some money and all that kind of stuff. And I was somewhat hoping that the actual final story itself would be a lot better, but after reading it, it was what I somewhat expected it to be, with it just being a filler, fun kind of story. And then there's also the second half of the story where we've got to see the punk frogs fighting some pearl dragons, and it's annoying, I want to say. And I'd say for the most part, for this actual issue itself, it just feels like it's just wasting its like very few issues that it may have, just because with this series, it's always been one which I've always had a lot of interest in, because I've always found this series to have a lot of potential with what it could do with this universe, setting things up and helping out characters and other locations, all that kind of stuff. But when you get issues like this where they're really not using their time wisely and using it to just do some random throwaway stories, it's really hard to just be positive about this one, but I guess we'll try. Okay, so for the first story, we get to see Raphael. He's in this diner, and it turns out that this first story takes place before the first 4 issues from this series. Oh my god, I have problems with this, just because the first 4 issues, they were set before the new number 1, that somewhat makes sense, understandable, okay. But yet we're doing another issue before issue number 1 for the new ongoing series, and this one is before those 4 issues. Have they not heard of continuity, release order, or anything like that? This it's annoying, and I'd say that this probably could have worked a lot better had they not go real pepperoni in the last issue, and it could have possibly made more sense to just have it as be the next issue after issue number 4. But the way that they're going around it is just not the best. But had they released this as issue number 1, I would have yeah, I definitely would not have been that much more excited about this series either way. So yeah, either way, this issue was a lose-lose kind of thing. So either way, we get to see Raph. He's at this diner, and that's when we do get to see this man. He walks in and he takes Raph's satchel, which is full of money. So after that, we do get to see Raph and Pepperoni. They go outside to try and find it, and that's when Raph gets a little bit annoyed at Pepperoni and tells her that she's more or less being useful, very in a way she's useless and that kind of stuff. And this somewhat does hurt Pepperoni's feelings, but Raph doesn't realise that Pepperoni's missing. He only realises this when he tries to go to sleep, which, she's been gone for several hours. How do you not recognise it at that point? Yeah, that's bad parenting. But either way, on Pepperoni's journey, which is very Tom and Jerry kind of feeling, I want to say, just because at one point she goes to where this person, the person who stole the money, she goes to where he works, which is at this pizzeria place, but then he throws her out, so then she follows the car home and finds that there's cats inside his home, and then he's like, oh man, I can't believe, you'd be worth so much more money. Why didn't you think about that earlier when you try to kick her out and that kind of stuff? And that's when we do get to see Raph. He finally comes around and scares him a bit, and yeah, pretty much after that, that's pretty much where the issue really ends. So I'll just say that overall for the story, it's not a bad story whatsoever. It's just, for a filler kind of story, I think it works fine enough. I do feel like maybe this whole story didn't need to be as long as it was. I feel like some bits possibly could have been cut out and could have been a small backup story to any other issue, but it was a decent kind of story, I want to say. But I'd say that this being the main focus for the actual issue itself, it was just not that entertaining, not really focusing on Raph and all that kind of stuff, actual characters you want to focus in on. And with the whole timeline problems as well, that also made it a lot more frustrating, just because, just why can't we just, fill in the time gap and all that kind of stuff, and give us actual good issues and proper stories I want to watch and read and all that kind of stuff. But Yeah. But either way, after that, we get to see a story with the punk frogs fighting the Pearl Dragons. The Pearl Dragons are like doing this like night security gig, and they're going around the mutant wall trying to just make sure that things don't go wrong. And like they're doing it for this company that he's trying to like take down some buildings or the walls or something like that with like near mutant towns, so they can build more houses there and become rich. Yeah, why not? And after that, we do get to see the punk frogs. They come down and start attacking the Pearl Dragons. And with this bit, I'll just say that, like, I don't really understand why they did. Just because they weren't really doing anything really wrong. They were just walking around protecting the neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. It just seems very out of character, I want to say, in a way. Or at the very least, it just seems very unprovoked and all that kind of stuff. And I understand, like, punk frogs have their history with the Pearl Dragons, but it just seems so weird that they'll just come out of like nowhere just to fight them for no reason whatsoever. I can somewhat understand if like maybe the Pearl Dragons were attacking a home or something like that, but no. And then to make it even weirder, we also don't have the full like punk frogs. We only got 3 of them this time, which I do find to be a lot weirder. Like, why wouldn't you have all of them? And and also the Pearl Dragons are only down to like 3 members. What went wrong there? But like during this battle, we do get to see the Pearl Dragons and punk frogs. They're going at it in like the construction site, and then that's when I want to say it's like the wall that I was talking about. It like crashes down and breaks, and the rich guy who's hired them, he sees it as a good opportunity to more or less like start work on building all the houses straight away, and he gives like Pearl Dragons and punk frogs a good good street cred or something like that. I'm not too sure. I sort of lost interest at that point, but yeah, I have to say that overall for this story, it was decent enough for this one, but I just felt like this one was a bit pointless and just felt like it was just so random, just trying to do like any. No, I just feel like I can understand for like they want to try and do like a different kind of story and at least try and use characters who probably won't show up again, or at least not for a very long time, and actually try to do something out of it. So at least there's something there, I want to say. But at the same time, I do feel like they could have used this story to maybe, integrate this one into like Hell's story or something like that, and not just be like some random rich guy who's hired the Pearl Dragons. I definitely feel like there was definitely stuff there for them to do, but yeah. I mean, I want to say that for like both stories, I did enjoy the artwork, but I don't think it's going to save this issue. So I'll just say that overall for this issue, there are like decent stories, but I feel like both of these ones are like more better suited as backup stories. I know that the Punk Frogs vs Punk Frogs vs Pearl Dragon one was a backup story, but I feel like that one could have been shortened down a lot as well. It's just a very messy issue, and thank God it's over. So yeah, if you just want, please share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.